covering news where you live. This is 5 News This Morning.
Well, good morning. Thanks so much for joining us. We live in a beautiful part of the world, don't we?
We do.
My goodness.
It's just the best.
I was saying, starting to learn it. It's just gorgeous out there.
Yeah, the mountains, and then just like driving, I feel like, along I-49. Oh, it's so pretty.
Yeah, the rain we're tracking, though, could make things a bit greener.
Well, I'll say it's very green already, and it's going to be very green. I'll say we're going to have numerous amounts of storm chances starting with tonight. So yeah, if you were missing out on the rain, don't worry, it'll be here all week, and it is here to stay. Right now on the Doppler radar, you're noticing just off to our northwest, we're seeing a couple of scattered showers there in Delaware County, but it's really starting to fade away. So what this means for us is, I think, for the most part, for the day today, we're not going to be seeing any of that rain here, but later today we'll see some redevelopment, and that's where we'll see the chance of possibly strong to severe storms. For today, though, in the meantime, we'll have high temperatures in the mid to upper 80s here in northwest Arkansas, upper 80s and low 90s in the River Valley. We'll have a strong southerly wind with partly cloudy skies. I do expect some sunshine to peek through there, but what that southerly flow is going to do is make it more muggy than it already is. We're going to see dew points in the upper 60s and low 70s throughout the entire week, so we're going to have that kind of tropical feel out there. And again, with that, we'll see numerous storm chances, as well as a whole lot of rain chances. I think over the next week, we could see really 3 to 5 inches of rainfall area wide. So unfortunately for those areas that are already seeing a whole lot of water, just a little bit more, we could see some localized flooding. So that's something to watch, but we'll have your complete forecast coming up. For now, we'll take a look at traffic there. We're going to look along I-49 at mile marker 22 there in the River Valley. Good morning to you there. No traffic incidents or accidents to report. Of course, keep you posted on anything that does change. We'll have the complete forecast of the severe weather timing and rate toll amounts coming up in just a little bit. Joe and Tiffany.
All right, thanks for that, Danny. Well, memorial flowers and flags is growing at the scene of Sunday's fire attack in Boulder, Colorado.
Police say at least a dozen people were injured, some with severe burns, when the suspect, identified as 45-year-old Egyptian national Mohammed Salman, threw Molotov cocktails at demonstrators. The group was marching peacefully in support of the October 7th Israeli hostages. Witnesses say the suspect yelled "Free Palestine" during the attack. On Monday evening, he made his first court appearance. He's facing multiple felony charges and a federal hate crimes charge.
He was interviewed about the attack. He said he wanted them all to die. He had no regrets, and he would go back and do it again.
According to court documents, the suspect told investigators he had been planning the attack for a year and that he used Molotov cocktails because he was denied the purchase of a gun due to not being a legal citizen. The suspect has not yet entered a plea, though he is due back in court on Thursday.
Meanwhile, some business owners who are part of the Jewish community in Boulder are reacting to the attack. Lindsay Deli, a Jewish-style business, she owns that there, that sits on the Pearl Street Mall.
Being a Jewish woman now, I've just watched so much terror in the Jewish community for my entire life. And what's so cool about the Jews is they always seem to unite, and they always seem to come together and just move forward.
She says her business decided to reopen their doors the day after the attack, and that together the community will persevere. Well, the White House says that President Trump is preparing for high-level trade talks with the Chinese president.
This despite both the U.S. and China accusing each other of violating a preliminary trade agreement that was reached in May.
I can confirm that the two leaders will likely talk this week, and as always, when there are foreign leader calls, we will provide a readout of those calls.
I'm confident that when President Trump and Party Chairman Xi have a call, that this will be ironed out.
This comes as the president doubled tariffs on steel and aluminum imports, with the new 50% rate set to begin on Wednesday. The European Union and Canada say that they will retaliate with tariff hikes against the U.S. in return. We're continuing to monitor for developments in the search for escaped inmate Grant Hardin. The manhunt is now entering day 9 in Arkansas. The Arkansas Department of Corrections says the effort is still focused in the area in north central Arkansas where Hardin escaped. Hardin is considered extremely dangerous. A Department of Corrections spokesperson says that they followed up on several tips since the escape. But right now, they don't believe that Hardin has been seen or heard from since he walked out of the prison near Calico Rock.
That's the frustration right now, is we just don't have that one tip or that one lead that can really help pinpoint where to focus those search efforts.
Hardin has several connections to our area. He previously worked for several local police departments. He was also the police chief in Gateway before his arrest for a deadly shooting. DNA evidence collected in that investigation later linked Hardin to a rape in Rogers.
Today, a Fayetteville man accused of killing his roommate is set to appear in court for a jury trial. Police say they arrested Jason Lawson in June last year after he reportedly killed Benjamin Martin during an argument. Lawson was charged with first-degree murder and tampering with evidence. He reportedly told police that Martin fell on a pocket knife during an argument. Lawson has pleaded not guilty, and his trial is set to begin at 8:30 this morning.
Rogers Torch, a man charged with the murder of a 2-month-old baby, is set to have a pretrial hearing in Scott County today. In August of 2023, officers say that they were called to a home on Huntington Avenue. That's where they found a deceased baby covered with a blanket. Police say 2 other children were in Sorge's care at the time. He's charged with first-degree murder, and the hearing is set to start at 9:30 this morning. Former Rogers police chief and current city council member Hayes Minor is accused of driving while intoxicated. Booking reports show that Minor was arrested over the weekend and faces multiple charges, including DWI and speeding. The police report shows that his blood alcohol level was 0.109. He currently represents Ward 3 in the Rogers City Council. That term expires at the end of 2028.
Well, Fayetteville is stepping up to its efforts to address a growing housing crisis. The city has just opened applications for federal funding aimed at creating and preserving affordable housing. 5 News reporter Lauren Spencer spoke with city leaders.
This aligns directly with our goal of creating and maintaining affordable housing for Fayetteville residents that are making at 80% of the area median income.
The cost of living in Fayetteville keeps rising, and for many, finding an affordable place to live has become harder than ever. Now the city is turning to federal support to help bridge the gap.
It is the largest federal block grant that is specifically and exclusively geared towards creating affordable housing opportunities for low-income residents.
It's the first time Fayetteville has received home funding from HUD, nearly $1.6 million to support this effort. The funds can be used for a range of projects, building new affordable units, developments geared towards first-time or low-income home buyers, tenant assistance, or fixing up existing projects.
I hope that projects like this just make it a little bit easier for people to stay here. You know, we can't grow as a city if our workforce and our residents don't have a place to call home, and that's something that everyone deserves.
Any money that goes into localities for the purpose of creating more affordable and attainable housing options is a positive thing, especially in this day and age.
Housing advocates like Billy Cook say how the money is spent will make all the difference.
I think there are a lot of options for how that money can be used, but I would say it needs to be affordable, it needs to stay affordable, and ultimately the tenants who live there need to have a better stake in the community than they might have in other places.
Mayor Ron says affordability isn't just a goal, it's a requirement.
This project requires that affordable housing that is built remains affordable.
In Fayetteville, covering news where you live, Lauren Spencer, 5 News.
Well, the deadline to submit proposals for the home funds is June 26, and the mayor says the city council is set to approve selected projects later this summer.